I'm from, the unfortunate reality is the story I was sold was to become a gang member, drug dealer, drug addict, dead, or in jail. That was really. Are you feeling scammed at 30? If you're feeling scammed at 30, in my humble opinion, you have a problem. You're thinking the wrong way. You missed the point. I was just watching a video of a gentleman. He said, "Are you feeling scammed at 30?" Got through half the video. Of course, he provides some nuggets towards the middle end of the video, essentially talking to men in their 30s. But much of his video was about the previous generation, taking risk, being sold a dream, essentially being sold a lie. And I'm watching the video and it dawned on me, and I'm sure, I also read the comments. A lot of people were agreeing with him. This sounds like a bunch of baloney. A bunch of people not willing to take full accountability of their entire life. How can you feel scammed at 30 when you are exactly where you're supposed to be based on every decision you have made? Now, of course, we're growing up, we're being indoctrinated, we're being sold a story. The first thing is to go to college. Now, where I'm from, the unfortunate reality is the story I was sold was to become a gang member, drug dealer, drug addict, dead, or in jail. That was really the path, because the people outside my door, people who had the fly whips and the fly kicks and them fly itches, the people who had that, who had it going on, who was doing their thing, were the gangsters. I'm just keeping 100. Those were the flymen, the gang members, the guys who had the respect, the guys who were calling the shots, the guys who was pulling up and parking where they wanted to park. It was the gang members. I didn't see doctors growing up. I only saw them on TV. I didn't see dentists growing up. I only saw if they were in a show. I didn't see executives. I became very inspired by a firefighter one day, because just so happened one day in the neighborhood, we pulling up, coming from church. As I'm walking in, we hear pop, pop. We run in, scoot in. It's about 3 or 4 of us, me and my brothers and sisters, trying to push through the door. Get in, get in. Parents like, yo, get down, get down. Somebody just got clapped on. Of course, we're nosy, little kids. What's happening? We go to the door. We got a screen door. That's what you have in the hood, because you just want to keep that extra layer. I'm out here in the valley now. We don't have screen doors on the door. I don't know why. I feel uncomfortable not living with a screen door right now. Boom. We open the front, looking through the screen door. We see a guy just screaming and running up and down the street. Stepmom, she walks outside. Dude happens to come right in front of our house, blood squirting out of his head. She run in, she yell at us, go get a blanket, go get a sheet. We run back, get her a sheet. She's like, calm down, lay down, put a sheet over him. Dude's bleeding out of his head. Police come, firefighters come, and they were just as pleasant as possible. Firefighters come the next day. Was having a very pleasant interaction with my stepmother, even us, asking us questions and so forth. Essentially, I think my stepmother saved this gentleman's life, but that was the only level of positivity with a profession or professional that I encountered in my neighborhood. Mind you, at school, of course, the interactions were cool with some teachers and counselors and so forth, but they were at school. I went to high school in West LA. I lived in the ghetto, 45th and Butler, a few blocks away from USC, but I went bused all the way to West LA just to go to a much better school. It took a lot for us to get into that school, but that's another story. So why am I bringing this up? I'm trying to provide some context. I honestly thought before I hit 18, I would find myself in some trouble. My homies, because of what my homies were doing, because of what my relatives were involved in. Everybody was involved in gangbanging somehow. So I didn't even think I would hit 30 at times. Then on top of that, my parents, at the time, my dad just got me back around eight years old. I was in the foster care system prior to that, living with my auntie and uncle. They fostered me up from birth up until about 7.5, 8. Loved them dearly. But I was scarred because the system removed me from them due to a technicality, misunderstanding, not my permission. So I'm messed up. The only people I've ever known, ever, in my entire life, you gotta understand this, the only two people I've ever known to be my parents. That was just snatched from me. Boom. So I truly understood right then in that moment. I was born straight into utter poverty. The foster care system, that's beyond poverty. The system had control of me. So I got removed from them. I'm now with this person who's considered to be my father, and I'm okay. He had just got out of prison, I believe, jail, prison. Spent a few years there. I'm learning more and more about him. I would visit him from time to time when I was a kid, him and my mom. My mom would always just have negative things. My biological mom would always have negative things to say about my auntie and uncle. So I didn't really like those interactions. I didn't really like those visitations. I knew I never wanted to live with them. Neither one, because I just loved where I was at. I loved it. I was the only child. I had upstairs, downstairs, my own room, right? I felt like I was a kid with everything. But little did I know, no, at the blink of a hat, or blink of an eye, it could all just be taken because I didn't belong to anyone but the system. I didn't know that, and I had to learn that later. As a kid in the system, your guardians, the foster parents, this was a kinship arrangement. They have no rights, truly. So social worker can come in, if they hear anything, they could just take them. And that's what happened to me. Well, I'm messed up. A couple years, I'm with my pops. I'm messed up. I'm emotionally just all over the place. But I knew college. I mean, no one around me was in college. Dad got his back. I just told you he was spent years prior to being in prison. He was on drugs, drug addict, etc. Mom still in the streets, drug addict. You know, life is just completely different. The homies, now we on the block. You can't show any pain. You can't show anything. So now we on the block. And homies we starting to all develop, but everyone's dealing with pain. 45th and Bowline, everyone's dealing with with agony, a broken home, not seeing this parent, or, broke, just simply just broke, the madness that comes with living in the ghetto. So you got to just kind of just toughen up, hold that in. That's where I developed my poker face right then and there. Just, I really rather be with my auntie and uncle, but I got to be here. And that's what it was. So I'm not really thinking that I will probably see 30. Then you start seeing homies go away from summer to summer, in and out of the juvenile system. So I was like, damn, would that happen to me? Could I get caught up in a situation? Homies are getting beat up around the corner. People getting shot at. We having drive-bys on the street. I didn't think too much into my future until I started becoming a really, really great student. And that happened late middle school. Essentially got all A's 8th grade, I was like, I could do this. Got to high school, I'm like, I want to continue this streak. Did it in 9th grade, went to go see my counselor. I was like, hey, look, what do I need to do to get into college? I want to go to a really good college. That's my only way out. Yo, I can't just go to college. I got to figure out a way to pay. My dad's only making, we're on welfare. We getting free lunch. Christmases don't look the same anymore from when I was with my foster parents. It don't look the same. We ain't getting new this. We ain't getting none of this. We shopping at Payless. So what do I need to do, right? And why am I telling you this? Why am I providing content? Because people, to even ask that question, do you feel scammed? You're in the United States of America. You are owed nothing. But we have this mentality that we deserve more than what we've worked for. The unfortunate reality about capitalism is that it favors the people who worked smarter in the beginning, and it's unfortunate, but it was inhumane, but it was smart to enslave certain individuals back in the day and have them work for free. Now, extremely inhumane, and it happened to be my ancestors, but it's placed that demographic in such a strong, superior position financially, that they've been able to essentially dominate and prevail and capitalize from that one experience since the beginning of the creation of this country. And so they essentially get to everything first as it pertains to opportunity. But there's still opportunity. I look at my own life, right? Navigated the foster care system, navigated poverty, first generation college student, graduated from one of the best colleges in the United States, UCLA, worked for UCLA right after. And then after that, became an entrepreneur, self-employed poker player, trying to just be unconventional. Why not? Let's see what happens. My life at the start was unconventional. Let's see where it's at then. And then COVID hit, and here we are. COVID hit, slapped people in the face. You couldn't pivot, right? My only means of making really good income was being in a casino. I couldn't do that at the time, and then I had to place myself in an unfortunate situation, and it just wasn't profitable for me. I couldn't pivot fast enough, and so things happen. Thank you for watching part 1 of this video. Please tune into part 2. I want you to understand that part 2 is extremely valuable as well. On top of that, please like and subscribe to the channel. That would be extremely helpful. I just want to add value, provide value, lessons from my life over time. That's really all I want to do right now. No services right now. Just like, subscribe, comment in the comment section below. Do you agree, disagree? Do you feel scammed? Why don't you feel scammed? Why do you feel scammed? Be extremely helpful. Again, and tune in for part 2.